Hi, welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. First, thanks for coming to my channel. I really appreciate you visiting. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button before you leave, that helps out a great deal. I wanted to thank my subscribers. We just passed 2,800 and it keeps going strong. So thanks for all your support. Special thanks for my patrons over on Patreon. I really appreciate your support too as well. And if you're interested in checking that out, you can see a link in the video description down below. There's also some other links, a link to my website, if you just want to give me a tip because you appreciate my content. There's a buy me a coffee link. You can check out my website, and there's even a merch link down there now. So if you just absolutely are dying to have a mug with my face on it. So that being said, today's project is going to be I'm not sure what we're going to call it. Maybe a scaffolding ring, but we haven't come up with a for sure name for it. I've seen some similar ones online before. I've never attempted one of these, and I think it's going to be a good challenging one for me. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it or not, but we'll give it a try. I've got some ideas, so we'll see if they work out. But let's get started. So for this project, I've got a great big orange cubic zirconia that I've had for a few years. I've actually got two of them. I probably should make something that matches, but I'm not even sure why I got this one. It was so glowy and fun. But I think today let's find something to do with it. So, like I said, I've seen some of these rings that have scaffolding on the inside like this, sort of. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to make something kind of like this, where I'll make a base or a collet for it out of some 14 gauge square wire, and I have some ideas how to do the scaffolding, and this outside will be 18 gauge sheet, and I may do some cutouts in it or something, but I'm not sure. So first we'll need to make a rectangle for this. I have some ideas about there's going to be some little prongs that come up over the corners here like this to hold the stone in place. This one comes to pretty sharp points on the corners, so trying to put just a single prong over the corner might not be very easy to get it to stay where you want it to, and for it to be very secure. So I'm going to do two on each corner, one on each side of the corner, basically. At least that's the plan. We'll see if I can pull this one off. So first things first though, I need to make a little frame out of 14 gauge square, and I'm going to try and make it exactly the size of the stone. I think that's where I want it to be. I was thinking about doing stuff where I had prongs mounted on top of the wire, but I think it's going to be easier if I mount them on the outside here like this, so they go over, and then I can just have an equal size border. So let's just do it like this. Try not to actually trace it. I'm trying to get it so that my lines are sort of underneath the stone so that it's actually the exact shape, or size I should say. Pretty close anyway. That's pretty good, I think. Right. Gotta use one of my new toys. Flying Chef, one of my frequent commenters, suggested I get one of these, and I really like it. It's fun. It allows you to do nice 45-degree angle corners, so it'll make making a little frame for this a little bit easier. So I use some 14 gauge. Oh, the materials I'm going to use: 14 gauge square for this part up here. I think I'm probably going to use 14 gauge round for the little bars on the inside. A little piece of 18 gauge sheet in the middle, and then this will be 18 gauge sheet on the outside as well. And then the little prongs holding the stone in on top will be 18 gauge round. As always, I'm using spray-on flux called My-T-Flux and hard silver sock. I'm going to cut a little more manageable piece off the square wire here. Let's spend a little time. You can see kind of my doodles trying to figure out how I was going to do this. square this off, make this nice and straight. Okay. So what this does, it has a 45-degree angle going that way, or a 90-degree angle if you go that way. You can feed the, make sure it's wide enough to get in there. I haven't played with this very much, but it seems like a good tool for getting a nice even 45-degree angle. So just have it stick out a little bit. I'm going to snip off some of that, not very much. And then I'll just file. Just file that flush. Imagine you don't want to get too crazy, because if you keep going, you're going to dull your file on the steel here. But that does do a nice clean end. Okay, so first thing, this was the one we decided was the actual size. So I want the, I need to have the outside corner come all the way to the outside corner there. So it's going to be right. There's a starting place, and it's got to kind of go that way. Right. So this time, just need to get the starting point of my little scratch lined up there. Cut it off a little bit. File it flush. Sometimes you end up with a little bit of kind of flashing left over, a little more left from filing, so I'll take that off. It can interfere with, you know, your measuring. So I think that's just a tiny bit too long, so I'm going to do it just a little tiny bit more. And if I'm satisfied with the length of this one, then I can use this as the guide for measuring the opposite side. Yeah, that's about what I want. I didn't want to stick out any past those lines, so we'll use this as a starting point. But now for the next one, I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here and file this off. Make a little diagonal scratch initially, just mostly so that I don't do it the wrong direction. I did that a couple of times when I first started playing with this miter vise. This is the first actual project I've used it on, so we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so now we're going to do the other sides. does make really nice little angles. My initial assessment is good. I think they're useful. Okay, so let's do the last one then. That's pretty good for me, getting them exactly the same length. Okay, let's see how that looks. Mostly I just want to see. Yeah, that's about right, I think. So I think let's solder those together. That's pretty good. I think. Then I'll bump it and screw it up a little bit. I'm going to try and dribble a little flux on there, and then we'll solder it together and see how it looks. So it was slightly skewed, so I had to push it a little bit in one direction. I'll do just a little bit of filing on this. Looks like we're pretty close. I think that's probably good. So, the next step, I think, I'm going to do that, and then I think I'm going to take some of that 18 gauge. I'm going to make some jump rings. See if those are long enough. I'm going to straighten that. Like a staple shape. Oopsie. Let's see if I can make 4 of those. So basically I'm pushing these in. So they go over the corners. Pushed a little too hard on that one. Okay. So hopefully that'll be pretty symmetrical. Let's see. I'm just going to pick those on. I want to make sure to get because I'm probably going to snip this off at some point, but I want to make sure that these are soldered to either side so that I have two prongs. I'm just going to do a few make sure ones. I'd rather not have to redo this. If I can help it. Probably should just leave it in there, but I kind of want to make sure everything's attached right. That's trying too much to attach here. Looks like that'll fit in there just dandy. So now I figure out how to do that, that structure. I think I have an idea. I don't want it to stick up, you know, be too tall, so I want it to be kind of a pretty steep angle that way. So what if find some round 14 gauge round. So here's what I'm thinking. I could make a V out of this and have them solder into each corner. So I need to be about a quarter of an inch long, and so about a half an inch, I guess. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to cut two of them. First, let's straighten these out a little bit. Let's find the center of those. Where are you, little marker? Okay, I'm going to find a little V notch there. It's been bending it, so. See if they're about the same distance apart. Looks like they are. So let's solder those so they can't open or close anymore. I think we're going to try something here now. Push that in, things are less likely to move around then. Look at kind of how this lines up. See, I'm filing at angles so that they'll sit in kind of a tripod sort of manner here, in theory. We have to file kind of a little flat spot kind of going this way in order for them to lean up against each other's legs. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted it to do. So let's see if we can't solder that. There's probably enough solder there, but I'm going to pick up a little bit more just in case. I was hoping that the bottoms of those little loops that we did for the prongs would act as a good way to hold those on there, and it looks like it will. So far, so good, I think. I did a little geometry here to figure out how I want this to meet up here. And so I did it about the same width, but I want it to taper out and then taper back in. And so I calculated about how many millimeters each of these were. It's about 12, 12, 15, 15, and 10. And so that translates over to here for a total of 64. But that's not as the crow flies, that's following these angles. So what we'll have to do is I'll use this factory edge here. And the widest point is going to be right about there. give myself just a little bit of excess, filing purposes. Okay, I'm just going to cut this out of here and use this. Actually went to the store today to try to get some rubber cement and they didn't have any, so I'm going to have to resort to masking tape, unfortunately. So these outside angles I can cut with these guys, but on the inside ones I'll have to use the saw. Okay, let's go do some sawing. Ah, sawing, my favorite. That was sarcasm. Okay, well, I'll need to do a little cleaning up with the file there because I don't cut very straight, but you know. Okay, I did some file cleanup because I'm not super good at sawing, so it looks a little bit neater now. So what I kind of need to do now is you're going to have slight bends at these points wherever there's a corner. I'm thinking I want some see-through over on the side here, so I'm going to cut out a kind of a trapezoidal. Is that the right word? Trapezoid? I think so. Kind of like that. In order to let some light get to that stone. That looks about right, so I'm going to kind of measure it. So it's about 3. We'll just go about 3 millimeters on each side. Okay, I'm going to go saw those out. I'll probably do that off camera since you already got to see me saw. I did a pretty decent job on those ones. That's kind of unusual, but still need to do a little bit of cleanup. Now I got a couple of options here. I could try and just bend them at those places. You get kind of a rounded bend, which I'm inclined to do. It would be kind of nice if they were sort of angular. I wonder if on the bottom, let's try on the bottom ones and see. Actually, let me experiment with a piece of scrap. Oh yeah, that'll work. So these top ones, I want them to be very bent inwards just slightly. Let's bend these ones up now. The next step I'm going to do here, I'm going to put some solder in these different seams here to make sure they don't bend back in place. Flat on top. Okay. I think my next step is I need to make these corners available by cutting off this excess over here, and then we'll mount that thing on there. So let's I'll probably do a lot of grinding away with the Dremel, but I may use the saw a little bit, so we'll see. Need to get this to sit right on there, just like that. That's actually pretty good. Yeah. Oops, that was part of the table again. The second time in like 3 videos. Let's do it again there. So the things that I've done off camera were I made 2 more little V's like we did before with a 14 gauge round wire, and I filed them so that they would fit in there, butted up against each other, sitting right on top of the previous V's. And there's plenty of solder in the middle there probably to have everything soldered together, but I'm going to have to add some solder on the ends. So I'm going to let it flux that. This is kind of the last thing, so it's sort of the sketchy one where I'm always nervous. Let's take a peek at it. Well, after looking at the solder joints, I don't see anything that looks bad or anything, so there's a few that are not exactly placed how I'd like, but I can kind of make that sort of disappear with a little creative filing. So, alright, I'm going to heat this up and throw it in the pickle for a while, and then I'll set the stone and polish it. Okay, I'm back. I did some initial polishing. I also I found a little notch, or a narrow spot I should say, more like, with the rounded outer part of the jeweler's file here, where the girdle is going to match up on the inside of these prongs. That would give us just a little nicer way to get that to lay in there. Okay, so I'm going to just start pulling these inwards, kind of opposite each other. Just trying to make them look exactly the same on each corner, pretty much. And then we'll trim them off. Okay. Cutting these ones, prongs, I always cut about midway down the girdle facets, which are the ones between the table facet and the girdle. About halfway down those. So now I'm going to do a little filing to get those to taper down a little bit, sort of claw-like maybe. Push these down to make sure they're sitting down tight. And then I'll just file these, and then at the end of the video I'll have some better pictures for you. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know I learned a lot from doing that one, and I hope you did as well. If you'd hit the like button before you leave, that helps out a great deal. And don't forget to check out the video description for the various links to things that are related to my channel. You can visit my Patreon page from there. You can buy me a coffee. You can visit my website if you want to look at some of my jewelry. Or you can even buy some merch from my merch store now if you want to, just in case you just can't live without a mug with my face on it. So thanks for coming. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section. I appreciate constructive criticism as well as challenges. Sometimes people give me challenges to try. I like that. Either way, thanks for coming. Happy silversmithing. Take care.